At this point, I think it's only fair to say that the Premier League and English football will be very boring without Chelsea in it. Because in the end, most times than not, Chelsea make the headlines most times than any other team in the Premier League. Something just has to go on, something just has to happen with Chelsea or in Chelsea or at Chelsea rather. It's just blockbuster fireworks. It's never ending with Chelsea. The FA have issued Chelsea with 74 charges alleging breaches of their regulations on football agents and working with intermediaries and third-party investment in players. Ranges from 2009 to 2022 and primarily between 2010 and 11 and 2015 to 2016. Chelsea have until September 19th to respond to these charges. Let's dive straight into it. So my understanding from these charges is that it happened between 2010 to 2011 and 2015 to 2016. This happened, which means this happened in the Roman Abramovich era, and not something that has just happened recently. And Chelsea, the new Chelsea owners, who Bluco, Todd Bowley and Bedard Degbali and the rest, when you look at it, I think they discovered this and self-reported the situation before it got out of hand, and I think that was a very smart move. This news came about earlier, but not as it was briefly talked about went online and all that, especially on Twitter X, and a lot of people had few talks about it and got swept under the carpet, and now it's resurfaced today with Chelsea being charged with 74 charges alleging breaches of their regulations and blah 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 blah. Okay, so this is after this news came about. Other news journalists reported something afterwards, and this is what they reported. So, statement from Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea FC is pleased to confirm that its engagement with the FA concerning matters that were self-reported by the club is now reaching a conclusion. The club's ownership group completed its purchase of the club on 30th May 2022 during a thorough due diligence process prior to completion of the purchase. The ownership group became aware of potentially incomplete financial reporting concerning historical transactions and other potential breaches of the FA rules. Immediately upon the completion of the purchase, the club self-reported these matters to all relevant regulators, including the FA. The club has demonstrated unprecedented transparency during this process, including by completing comprehensive access to the club's files and historical data. We will continue working collaboratively. Sorry, I rolled my tongue there, with the FA to conclude this matter as swiftly as possible. We wish to place on record our gratitude to the FA for the engagement with the club on this complex case, the focus of which has been on matters that took place over a decade ago. So I think this is Chelsea acknowledging what was communicated to Chelsea as regards to 74 charges, and also in a summary, to the best of my knowledge, because I'm not gonna act like I know everything about the laws and all that regarding the as I don't know so deep as this. All I just care about is Chelsea doing well on the field of play. So in summary, what I think this whole acknowledgement is, and this letter is all about, is Chelsea indirectly saying that this is something that has happened over a decade ago, that's over 10 years, and that this is something that they noticed, they figured out on their own, and they brought it to the knowledge of the FA before anything else. So, and that's like telling them that you have to put that into account and be fair in your judgment. After this, Matlaw posted something else. This is what Matlaw posted. According to Matlaw, sources have claimed that other than a point deduction, a transfer embargo is another potential sporting sanction for Chelsea. But either of those punishments could set a precedent that will deter other clubs from self-reporting in the future. And I agree. I quite agree with him on this one, because when you put what Bluco have done into consideration, you find out that it was a smart move, and they demonstrated an act of transparency and openness to the FA and every other governing body in with regards to sporting or footballing activities or business like. So this is it, yeah. If you take the initiative to self-report yourself, and then you still end up getting heavily punished for it, I think what other clubs will do, rather than self-reporting, they would find ways to bury their dirty, whatever shitty thing that has happened behind their back and do not know or might not know about some of them. So yeah, I think that Matlaw is right on this one, and this is what he further went on to say. He said Chelsea are expecting a financial sanction roughly similar to the £8 million UEFA fine, and are not expecting a sporting sanction. And when you talk about sporting sanction, the sporting sanction has to do with the footballing aspect of it, and it feels like they believe that having reported themselves, they don't expect the sporting side of it to be affected or sanctioned. If there's going to be any part of the Chelsea side that's going to be affected, should be the business part, which had to do with dealings between Chelsea's previous owner, and agents and all that. So that is transactions that happen between Chelsea and the business part of it. That's just what Matlaw is saying here. Let me know what you guys think about this, and if you think that Chelsea is going to should be fined, or should be heavily sanctioned, or should be banned, or maybe points deducted and whatnot. Let me know what you guys think. Now on to the last part that I'll be wrapping the video up with. It has to do with Dario Essugo, and the Athletic has confirmed that they expect Dario Essugo to be held for a minimum of 12 weeks after having an operation on a thigh injury, meaning he may not be available for selection until 2026. Essugo sustained a problem while away with Portugal under 21 squad, and it was determined he needed surgery after being assessed by medical staff. The midfielder has made 3 appearances for Chelsea since completing a £18.5 million from Sporting CP in June, with the deal having been put in place 3 months earlier. So this is really scary, and it's scary because if anything happens to Moises Caicedo, everything that we're working for or trying to achieve this season is going to be very difficult to achieve, because Moises Caicedo is the life wire for everything that Chelsea are trying to do. If anything happens to him, it might not be scoring all the time. It might not be doing crashing into the box like Enzo Fernandez does and all that. The work that Moises Caicedo does in that Chelsea team cannot be overlooked or brushed aside. Chelsea made it to the Champions League. That's because Moises Caicedo played a very pivotal role and he did it exceptionally well without having to complain. The only thing that I'm worried for now is because of the amount of games that Moises Caicedo have played from last season into the Club World Cup and into the new season. He's just gone on international break and played for his country, and thankfully got given a red card, and he's traveling back, and he's going to have to continue from where he's stopped. Dario Essugo was supposed to be a cover for him, and Dario Essugo is now looking to be unavailable until 2026. We have issues with Romeo Lavia's fitness. His injury problem is something that is, I'm sorry, it's starting to become a worry for me. I wasn't going to be so worried if we had Essugo. Essugo was a direct cover for Moises Caicedo. Santos was a direct cover for Enzo Fernandez. And now it looks like Moises Caicedo's cover or backup is out, injured, and not going to be available until 2026. Romeo Lavia doesn't play the way Caicedo plays. Romeo Lavia doesn't also play the same way Enzo Fernandez plays. He plays like a register. Is it a register? It's just this Rodri type, not crashing into the box. It's just the breaking play in a controlled manner, different from the way Moises Caicedo sometimes bombs forward to win the ball up front and also have to track back. If Romeo Lavia does half of what Caicedo does, I don't think we'll see Romeo Lavia for 1 year. That's how worrisome Lavia's injury situation is. If he does half of what Caicedo does, we might not see Lavia again until another year. So whatever needs to happen to keep Moises Caicedo protected, covered, and free from injury, Chelsea better start doing. Because if anything happens to Caicedo, it's red danger going forward until he returns. Anyway, that's all I have for. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Okay, let me know what you guys think about Dario Essugo, and let me know what you guys think as regards to the Chelsea charge that has been placed before them. And don't forget to check out this space for my Chelsea predicted lineups tomorrow, because we're going to be having our kickoff at 8 p.m. on Saturday, as well as my predictions and all that. So yeah, until we meet again, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. Peace.